We're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Film Hustlers.
Very good. You got the name right.
You know what?
First time.
You know what feels good? It feels right this time. Like for all those seasons, 3 seasons that we were doing, let's get into it, or let's get into entertainment. Yeah. It didn't feel right. Like Film Hustlers feels like what we are.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you hustling today, Robert?
I feel like I am. It's funny. I've been in the business a long time, and you learn something new every day. Every day you learn something new. I'm dealing with a lot of unions right now, and it's a real pain in the butt. But it's part of the business. People have to get paid because you're out. Sometimes your movies go out and make money, and then when you make money and you use the union, people got to be paid, right? So, like for instance, your movie, the only person who makes money on your movie eventually is going to be you.
Eventually. maybe not. Maybe.
The one thing that's beautiful about filmmaking and now content in general is that you can raise the money yourself, you can do it yourself, and you can benefit. If you make a great piece of work, it goes viral. That's a big deal now.
You can put it anywhere.
You can put it anywhere. Before you made a movie, and if you didn't get a film festival or if you didn't get sold, then it would sit on a shelf. I mean, we talk about it all the time. 10,000 films made a year all over the world. Most of them don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So the one benefit we have is that we're here in Hollywood. We're close to the throne on a lot of levels, and you can make a product and get it to the right people. But at the end of the day, it still has to be great. Someone like Robert Rodriguez, who we talk about, was in Texas, in the middle of nowhere, in this place called Acuna. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Acuna, but Acuna is a very small town. It's a border town.
That's in America?
Yeah. Wait, it's not in America. I think it's in Mexico. But it's a little place, and he used to spend his summers there, and that's where he made El Mariachi, and it's a little teeny town. So you could also do something like he did, and do something tiny and still have like this superb talent, and people will notice it. So I think in the spirit of independent film and people doing great product and coming out of nowhere to do it, us on our show, the Film Hustlers are going to raise money, develop an idea, and we're going to make our own movie, and it's going to be a short, maybe. We've been talking about a short. And that short is
You've
going
been
to...
talking about a short. I'm talking about making a movie, Roberts. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a movie if it's a short.
Dave and I want to make movies. Okay, you're making movies. You're like, okay, guys, I'll give you a little bit of my time to make a little short movie.
No,
for a shitload of money.
Where I'm arguing,
That
to make a great movie, you have to have time.
You do.
To have time, you have to have money.
Yes, I learned that lesson.
Right?
Lesson learned. This is how Film Hustlers started a long time ago. You and I arguing about $7,000 making a feature-length film. I told you. I disagreed with you, and now I agree with you. It's tough. I did it,
it's
hard. Tough.
Can you imagine like a page and a half, 2 pages a day where you're like literally talking to actors, figuring out what you're going to do, getting whatever product placement that you've promised an investor in the movie, and like you're taking your time with it, and it looks
2
beautiful.
pages isn't very much, though.
It's nothing.
2 pages
I do
for
a
whole day?
I do 5 to 7 pages on the Lifetime movies, but that's too much. I mean, we're even rushing at that.
Yeah, true.
Look, if you make movies,
depends on the scenes.
If you make movies or don't make movies, it doesn't matter, right? If you don't have a whole lot of time, and you're talking about 5 to 10 pages a day that you've got to film, then you're talking wide shot. I'm sorry, an establishing shot. Oh, they walk into the bar, wide shot from behind them, looking at wherever they're at, a medium shot of them walking to wherever they're going to land, over the shoulder of one, over the shoulder of the other, and then maybe some inserts if they're talking about something specific. That in itself is an enormous amount of work if you're talking about 7 pages. It's because you got to cover it all.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on who's covering what. You can't do it from one side because, look.
It depends on your crew, too, because you have a great crew with Galvan. Those guys repo quicker than you could drop a bomb.
That's true.
Quicker than any crew I've ever seen.
Dude, they turn around in a matter of like you go to, I'm going to go to the car or the dressing room, and they're ready to go.
Yeah. I'm going to go get a cannoli. I'm going to go get a cannoli. No, you're not.
Time.
Come back here. We're ready to go.
And you know what? As small as the budget is, that shot still looks good on that quick turnaround. And that's just because of technology, lights, cameras, all that stuff, dude.
It's true. It's true, but still, I wish. I want to know my wish list on my Lifetime movies.
Please.
Let me hear it.
Is I would love the ability to put the camera on a track and track a shot once or twice. Like we rarely do that. Sometimes we do it. we end up wasting a bunch of time, and then the tracking shots like one or two times, and then you're done. I would love to track a shot. I would love to really spend time developing whatever the jib shot's going to be on that jib. The jib really is just useful to us because it turns us around really quickly.
Right.
So I think that there's a lot of things that we can do if you're shooting 2.5 pages a day. Let's assume you're right, and we show up and you're like, wow, we just railed through those 2 pages. We'll then shoot some more. Shoot a scene that you were planning to do today. Turn it into 3-page day or a 4-page day. Or maybe someone like Sam, our AD, shows up and says, hey, let's make sure that your 2-page day coincides with your next day so that it's at the same location, so that if we have to pull in some scenes, let's pull in some scenes. So I agree. I mean, I think, look, I like making movies the way we make them, but if you're going to make something special and get to the next level, then you're going to have some camera shots.
Yeah.
Remember?
No, I agree. You need time, and time is money. Money buys you time, and you need that. Without that, you're just going to rush through, and it's not going to be. You're not going to make a product as good as it could be when you're rushing through because you don't have time.
Speaking of time and money, I want to mention our friends over at extrememusic.com, Russ Emanuel, for putting together a great array of music that you can use for your movies, commercials, any kind of content you're creating. It's pretty amazing. If you want to do your score on a budget, that's a place to go. If you want to find music for a scene where there's a radio or a jukebox in the corner, you want to put some music in there, you go to Extreme Music, you punch in the information you need, your whatever feel you want. There's hip-hop, there's rap, there's Christmas music, there's guitar music, there's choirs. I mean, it's a pretty incredible array. They've done an amazing job at Extreme Music, and I would definitely take a look. I use them for everything I do, every movie I do. There's a good number of Extreme Music cues in it. But what I like most about them is that you can create your account. You can pick your music, put it into certain folders. Like let's say you have multiple projects. You put each folder is for one of your projects, and you can listen to the music, at night, in the morning, whenever you want. Put it in your folders, and then you can share those folders with your editors. So it's a pretty remarkable way to work, and they make it affordable. So check out extrememusic.com. We're really happy to be working with them.
I've had actors say, can I get more than 3, 4 takes, 5 takes maybe? No, you can't, because we don't have the money or the time to do something like that. Well, I'm not going to do the job because I need to know I can do the part right. And look, a lot of actors care deeply about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And if they don't get more than 3, just because you said as the director that I got it, doesn't necessarily mean an actor feels the same way, or vice versa. Right, an actor may think I got it, and maybe the director wants to do a few more shots or try something different. I kind of like this shot, but now that I saw it, let's move it over here. You can't do that if you don't have any money. So
that's kind of a slippery slope, though, because an actor is an actor. They want to get as many takes as they can.
And they should. What's wrong with that?
You could be there all night, depending.
Let's talk about great acting.
You want to entertain, or you want to...
You want to make a great movie, or you want to just make a movie that you think the director thinks he got? All right, so look, let's talk about what we're doing. The Film Hustlers are going to make a movie, whether it's going to be less time for people the way Tootie wants it, or we're going to create...
I'm not saying that. What a dick. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying, baby Dave.
Or we're going to try to create space for a movie that's going to be great, that's going to be potentially a short. If we raise enough money, maybe it's a feature. Yeah. But no matter what, even if you have 2, 3... $1 million, it's still complicated to shoot a 90-page script in that amount of time, getting great shots and giving people time to shoot it. I mean, I guess if it's limited locations, it's possible, that you can do it for
Reservoir
less.
Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, great. Yeah, that's a great example of a movie that did it for $1 million and did a great job. But
you could do that, Roberts. I know you could do that. You could pull it. You're an extraordinary producer.
Let's find the script. No, let's find the script. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from the beginning. So if you're listening, get your pens and papers, get out your recording device, whatever
you
it
get
is.
your phone, go to notes, and start taking notes on your phone. No
Or-
one does pen and paper.
No pen and paper?
Or
There's
just
no pen-
re-listen to the episode.
Yeah,
or just
do
re-listen
that.
or save the episode, save it.
Pause, rewind.
So we're going to go from soup to nuts. The number one thing is that if you're out there and you're listening and you're going to do your project, you got to talk to lots of different types of investors. Yeah, you don't know investors all the time. I know a lot of investors, they don't necessarily want to be involved in film, so you have to ask everybody. So sometimes, like we talked about last week, you get a guy who knows lots of millionaires, even billionaires.
Yeah.
And they say, I can help you, I can do it, I can set people up. Now, I hate working with professionals like that because they're between me and the money. But having said that, Gavin Navarro, who's on the show today, is a guy that has actually said, I know people, and brought the money to the table. And there's current movies being done. We've raised money for other businesses and been very successful at it. So, Gavin, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
Otherwise known as La Vida. That's his nickname. Because he lives La Vida.
Tooty's always got a nickname for me.
Gavin Navarro, what is your Instagram?
At Gavin Navarro.
So if you want to see how this dude lives, take a
La
look
vida.
take a look at the Instagram.
Send me a DM at Gavin
Slide in the DM.
Yeah, already.
Only Rucas, all right? You want dudes rolling in that DM or just Rucas?
Hey, anyone.
Hey,
Okay,
they'll
good
figure it
answer.
out. They'll figure it out.
Okay.
So-
Millionaires and billionaires preferably, but yeah. I'll
So
take anyone.
you're not a billionaire. You're not.
I
a
am
millionaire.
not.
Not
But-
yet.
I am not. I am
But somehow you're very, very well connected to lots of people that have lots and lots of money, great businesses, Wall Street guys. How does that happen? How do you end up meeting so many people with so much money?
Well, you know what? I just have to go back. It's been gradual. You know, I used to be an agent. I was a manager for a while.
Of what? Of what?
Agent for actors and managers.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know.
Yeah. I was a manager a long time ago. This is back when I met Mario, our mutual friend. And then, I was a publicist for a long time and started my own firm. I was representing brands. Speaking of brands that I hope we get for this movie that you guys are doing. And I started connecting celebrities with brands. And just making friends with these celebrities, it opened so many doors.
Yeah.
So I start getting invited to all these events and premieres and, oh, come on the set, Gavin, come hang out. Oh, you're bringing me this product? Bring it to the set. Bring it to my dressing room. So you just create these contacts, and you guys know me. I mean, I've done some stuff with all you guys. By the way, just watched Made in Mexico again.
What'd you think?
I loved it, which is an amazing film that he did for 25 freaking grand. You know, I use it as a reference for raising money now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
and-
thank you. Look at that, Roberts.
And that's why I watched it, because they asked me. I just raised money for a film the other day. Well, when I say
By the way,
that,
congratulations.
Yeah.
You raised a
Thank
lot
you.
of money.
Thank you.
I don't want to
Yeah.
mention how much, but it's above
Well,
2 and below 10.
Yeah, and what I didn't tell you guys, it was actually 3 films. There was a big check and 2 smaller checks of like 500 to $1 million, just all separately. This is I don't you only
Same
knew
investor?
about the one different. All 3 different investors.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
which is
raised
cool.
money for 3 films, 3 different investors.
I do want to say I'm excited about your project because I have seen all 3 of you guys.
Are you talking about the Film Hustler?
The Film
process?
Hustlers project,
Got it.
because I've seen all 3 of you guys start with an idea and finish the product. You know, you've done a couple things. Dave has new projects.
Yeah.
Tootie's done his stuff. So it's really cool to see this because I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right, I know it's going to happen. You guys are going to do a fabulous job. I hope I'm involved, but it's
Well,
really
that's
cool
why
to
you're
sit
here.
at the table with someone because we all get pitched stuff every day. I mean, people come at me every day with an idea or something, but they never go anywhere with it. There's a guy that still comes to me at the gym with the same idea for 10 years, and I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, I have
Let
to
it
run
go.
away. I'm like, let it go. And the name Film Hustlers, because
You
that's
like
what
it?
you have to do.
Yeah, you really
You
do.
have to hustle.
You really do.
People don't understand how much work goes in before you shoot day one. It could be years. And people don't understand that.
Yeah.
You're hustling.
I mean, you're
you know,
making a great point. I think we should talk about that a little bit. I mean, yeah, if you're doing your own film, it's your baby for a long time. I mean, it's possibly you'll be with it for 18 years, just like a kid, you know?
And it doesn't matter what level you're at. I think I told you, I don't know if I said this last week, but I took a plane ride on someone's private jet who's a big star. I'm talking top tier, the whole thing. And it was probably like 3 a.m, and we're drinking tequila, and we're just talking. And
His tequila or our tequila?
his tequila. And so it is damn, it was
Cheater.
good. Yeah. But what am I going to tell him? No? I mean, the guy's like, top tier A-list.
superstar, yeah.
He brings up, his words were, it's still a hustle. It's always a hustle. It's always going to be a hustle. It's,
So Gavin, you're involved in various businesses. The people that you know love entertainment.
Yes.
You love entertainment.
You almost got to be obsessed with it.
Yeah, you're obsessed
it's
with
such
it.
a grind.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What I am impressed about you, and I'm not impressed about you much, but I am impressed about you, is that
I'm with
See
you.
what
I'm with you.
Nice.
I'm with you.
Way to get our guests excited. I'm impressed about it, but not
well,
really.
I gotta
Not
keep I gotta
much.
keep him in his.
We're all
keeps-
friends.
I gotta
check.
keep him
He
in
keeps-
his place. Yeah,
it's
keep him in
only
check.
your friends can keep you
That's
grounded.
right. But what does impress me about you is that if you are involved in a project, you do understand the filmmakers, you do understand the people involved with it, you understand the sale and the idea of what it is that you're trying to raise money for. Not a lot of people do. There are people who say like, oh, I know a guy who will fund what you're doing, and I'm going to introduce you to him, and then they make the introduction and know nothing about what you're doing, or very little, not enough to pitch it. You're a pitch man. You actually take the information, you turn it into your own, and you pitch it as if you cared about it as much as we care about
And
it.
you know what
Exactly.
he does? Because I've known him for a while too, and we've talked. He cares about the investor. He cares. Those are his friends. So he's not going to go to somebody with some bullshit idea or something he doesn't believe in, because that's a relationship that he doesn't want to ruin, and he wants those guys to make their money back. And
I
then
think,
some.
yeah, I think you nailed it right there. Is that I don't want to lose these people as friends or as future investors.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of projects. There's all kinds of stuff.
You
I
wanna
want to
make
do.
them money.
I want to make them money, and I want to make them happy. And honestly, it's for me, it's kind of a drug, right? You like to see the begin, middle, and end. When you see something happen, or someone comes back and says, like the other day, someone told me something about you. You know what? I like that Mark guy. He's cool. I'm like, great. That's what I want to hear. Like I said, you go along the way and the deals get bigger and better. And, like I said, I stacked up all these contacts. And I remember it was actually, I think my brother was like, okay, great. I see you hanging out and you're doing all this red carpet stuff. You're on private jets and yachts. But Gavin, what are you doing?
Dude, you're in the Greek islands.
Man,
You're in
some of-
Cannes. You're all over the place.
I mean, guys,
Free.
1 year I went on a vacation. It cost $1 million. And it cost me $0. And I couldn't believe it. But I think that's where my brother called me out, which is what you want. Your people to, they like, hey, they teach you, right? And he's like, hey, look, I see you doing all this stuff, but what are you doing for yourself? Okay, you're hanging out with these really extremely wealthy people that have everything. What are you going to have, and what's your plan? Like, give me a plan. And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm just enjoying my life. He's like, yeah, but, don't you want to do something for yourself? What if you meet someone and you have children? And I'm like, well, okay. And then I watched this CNBC special on how the middleman turns into a big business. So then I said, well, let me make this a business. But in order for me to do that, let me go out and see what I can do. Let me test it out.
People trust you. And as we talk about on The Hustle,
Oh, I like that, the hustle.
we talk about how, this business has to be transparent. This business has to be honest. You have to be doing it by the book. You have to have a lawyer that is clear about who you are. Like
Walter Batt.
Yeah, like for instance, Walter Batt works with me and these guys, right? The thing I love about Walter is that he's similar to you. He's not just a lawyer. He's a lawyer that gets to know you, understands you, so that when he talks to an investor or he talks to the studio, for me, in my case, he's able to talk about my character and about what I'm going to deliver when this deal happens. And that's a big deal, so that makes a difference. So tell people at home what it is, or in their cars. Tell people what it is that attracts you to an idea or a concept that would let you go to one of your contacts to raise money for them.
Well, I think it's the relationships. You got to know these people for a while. Most people I know that I do business with, I've known them for years. It's rare that someone will come up to me randomly, be like, hey, I have an idea. I mean, I've done it, but I usually know these people for a while, so I know their ethic. I know their, like for you, I've seen you on the set all the time. Yeah. I know Dave for a while. I know that he's always there. He shows up. Mark, I've seen him do a few movies. So then I can really go and be like, hey,
28.
These guys are doing a movie. And I've been working them for a long time. And let me tell you about what they've all been doing. So I can rattle off what you're doing, Dave's doing, Mark Roberts is doing. And they like that. They're like, okay, well, at least, you know what they're all about.
So you have to get to know someone and their
I think you
projects
vet
and what
on
they've
both
done.
sides, yes. And I also vet the investor. Is he willing to lose $1 million or $7 million? Can he afford it? Is he going to waste time? One thing I hate is wasting time. I'm not going to set you guys up with 3 meetings and all along they were not interested in investing. So I've kind of really been able to sniff that out now. because you pick up on things.
Yeah.
You know, I know what questions to ask. I see how serious they are. I go to dinner with them a few times and see how they act in public, and you can pick up all these things. It just comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
You know, I can see it from a mile away. Are they full of shit? Are they in?
Yeah.
Also, do they want to use us? I mean, we have relationships with some famous people. You know, I have a lot of people that come to me and like they'll dangle out a free dinner. You know, bring your friend. I think I'm interested in investing, and they're not.
Yeah.
So that's a waste of freaking time, you know. And you got to drag these people out to some of these meetings and stuff. So if I'm gonna do that, it's because I know they're really serious.
Well, that's the perils of this business too, and unfortunately, it's a reality that you will go out to dinner and great dinners with some people that just will not end up investing in what you're doing.
What do you say, Robert? You need about 30 seconds. You said on the
No,
show you need about 30 seconds.
me and him are we know
it's
we
not
know.
30 seconds, but it is. Like I recently had a guy who was going to invest in one of our projects. I had told Gavin to back off because he was going to raise money for him, and I said, and I went to this guy, and I had one conversation with him at a dinner. It seemed good, I did the usual, like, let's shake hands on this, and we did. And then the next conversation was a closing conversation, and I couldn't get to the close, so I did have to say, look, I'm going to need money from you. That's your part of this. That's what you're bringing to this table, right? And the answer was like, well, I'm not sure. And I knew that moment. It took two meetings, but I knew that moment that it was not going to be a deal. So I said, thank you for your time. I appreciate you being interested. I said, but you're not what we're looking for in terms of a partner.
So what do you think? He was just going to produce?
So he wanted to join the other side, not the investor side. He wanted to join the producer side, yeah.
No, that doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of maybe his way in. And there's things along the way when you're doing these deals that there's things you say that they might interpret a wrong way. So that's what's good about a middleman, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll call the middleman. And so they'll call me and be like, oh, Mark Roberts said this. I'm like, he didn't mean it that way. Let me tell you what he meant. Or they're asking me if I'm in or out. Well, no shit. That's a valid question. Are you in or are you out? Well, I don't like the way they asked. Over a text message or a phone call.
So you do politics too, right?
That's the job.
Yeah.
You have to interpret, and you have to say no, because even recently on a deal, the agent, the manager, and the client or the actor called and said, "Oh, the deal's not happening. We can tell the deal." I'm like, guys, calm down. Okay, we're talking through lawyers now, and they're not as good as Walter Batt, which I do like Walter Batt because I've heard from him from another investor. So these lawyers are very cold. They'll just talk shit to each other, and they can lose the deal. I've seen managers and lawyers lose the deal all the time. I worked at a management company for years. I used to lose the deals just by being an idiot. But
Hey,
but
at
let me
least you're honest.
But there has to be someone to translate what Mark Robert means. I'm like, no, dude, he's a good guy. He's a producer. He's not Mr. Social trying to make you feel good and fuzzy or a lot of these guys like their ego stroked. I'm like, no one's trying to come and tell you we love you. We want to know if there's a project to be made here.
Yeah.
And the way you asked, so Mark, I don't know, maybe at the end of that closing, maybe if you asked a different way, or I don't know. I mean, you do this a lot.
It was not going to be a deal. Not the kind. Look, I think one of the key things, if you're asking for money, if you're on my side of the table and you're asking for money, you have to know what kind of deal and what kind of person you want investing, right? Because some money is not worth taking.
Oh my God.
Nightmares. Some money is not worth taking. Yeah. So I think you need to have your conversation clear about what that relationship is going to be with the investor. They are going to give you money. Do they have to be involved? Yes, they do. Do you have to ask them questions about what type of actors and stuff like that? Yeah. Where you're going to shoot it? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's all good. Investors by nature want information. So the more you don't give information as a filmmaker, the more you say you're not going to be involved. You're not going to have any say. The more you say that, the further away from that money.
Oh, forget about it.
You get right. Yeah. So you have to say like,
there's a little give.
Yeah, I'm going to run stuff by you. We're going to talk about leads. We're going to talk about where we're going to shoot it, and eventually that investor will say, "Hey, you can stop. You can just go do it." It's true. Like the more information you give them, it's just too much. I don't want to know. So they just want you to go do your job.
That is a good strategy, actually.
But that is a great strategy because they have other things to do. At first, they want to know that you're willing to give them information. So, like, let's say, for instance, 2 weeks pass and they decide, like, oh man, I haven't talked to Gavin or Tootie in a while. Let me go figure out. Hey, who'd you cast? Like, what are you doing? Like, who's the DP? he knows that you're going to give that information freely,
And that's a good investor.
Yeah, it's a good investor.
You
so
know, the investor that wants the updates on craft services and every single little.
where are you
forget
spending
about
the
it.
money? I'm going to write the check. Yeah, that's a
exactly.
problem.
No, I have an idea for the lead. That's the best one. Yeah, I have a friend that can play that role.
Well, don't watch any of our movies because you'll see all of our foos in them.
But I love it. But
we do that on purpose, though.
But we're all in the
no
background.
one told us to. No investor told us to.
But
We
we're
just
all in
did
the
that.
background. It's fun. Speaking of that, speaking to people listening, and you know what I do with podcasts now? I forward them to everybody that needs to listen.
Oh, there you go.
So that's the best thing to do. Like if your friends out there want to learn about film hustling, all this, how to make a movie, how to raise money, shoot them the podcast. Yeah. I shoot it to. It's a great conversational piece. This is what I do when I wake up, guys. You know that I do this all day long.
What's up?
Raise money for projects.
I know that.
And that's not even my main business. It's just fun for me. So I love a challenge. I know Mark's challenged me. I've had some of our mutual friends challenge me. That to me is my drug. Yeah. So when I wake up in the morning and like the other day I got a text, hey, contract signed. Ooh, that was like a drug. It was like taking a shot of Casa Mexico tequila. It felt so good.
Delicious.
But you have to be obsessed with this job because I can go out to 10 people. No. What am I going to give up? No, you just keep going.
Yeah.
You just someone's going to want to do it.
So
not
people
everyone
say
wants
no
to.
to you. People say no.
Oh,
to you.
all the time. Yeah. I think it's less and less more now because I kind of know what I'm doing as far as vetting and so it really depends, and also their range. If they're if they're interested in only $500,000, I know where to go. Right. Yeah. If they're 10 million, I know where to go. Well, you know what else helps on raising money is watching the people you're supporting work. So I've seen you work, Tootie, right?
Yeah.
Almost all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen Dave work. I've seen Mark work as a producer a few times. So, Mark's like, hey, what are you doing in town? I'm like, well, I need to be here because I want to see what you're doing because it helps me talking to an investor saying, I've been on the sets. Look at these videos. Yeah. Look at these pictures. Right. I've seen them work and I've seen them put out fires. And, when we need to cast someone in and there's really no room for them. I've seen Mark maneuver as a producer, get the actor to show up on time and get the actor to do certain things he doesn't really want to do. Yeah. And I've seen the magic happen. So that helps me validate what you guys are doing. Yeah. I'm like, I've seen them all work for years now. You're going to be safe with these guys.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's awesome. No, that's good. That's really good news. And I think we've given everybody a lot of great information. Let's get into a conversation about what we're doing as if we weren't on the show. Okay. Because that's what we're going to be doing. So Gavin, the reason I brought you in is because the Film Hustlers are going to do a project. Now, we don't know if it's going to be feature and we don't know if it's going to be a short yet, but we do know that we want to do something special. We want to do something that's going to turn into a feature. We want to do potentially a proof of concept. So I've done this in the past where you shoot something as a short that could be a bigger idea, but somewhere under $250,000 is what we're going to be looking for. So I wanted you to kind of join us in looking for that dough. Now, we're totally willing to take on an investor who has a product that they want to publicize. We are going to be talking to them and about whatever it is we're doing on the show for an entire year, and we'll probably be getting press. So there's a lot more to this than just making a movie, but we do need to raise the money. We do need someone who understands film and investment and all that, and we just wanted to bring you on so that you could get started with us and bring people to the show, and we can talk about investing right here on the program.
Yeah, I love it. Super exciting. And the way you're going about it is really cool because you really don't know what the idea is yet. You don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah,
like you said, if it's a short or a feature, I think that's really cool to see the begin, middle, and end, which I've seen with all three of you guys.
Well, the exciting part is that, look, we know what's possible. So I think that the intent, for any filmmaker or anybody doing a project, and I think this even goes into if you're selling products, our intent is to do something great. And sometimes an idea comes after your intent, right? So our intent is to clarify to everybody that we're going to do something that is going to be really special in this space. And then we're going to find what that's going to be. And then an investor could jump in at any point in between there, right? So let me ask you this. What do you get when this happens? And you don't have to say, I'm doing it because I love you guys, but...
So the connector, I'm a dot connector, right? So I call myself the connector and the mediator along the way before the contract signed. So, I used to do it just to be involved and learn. but it became a business, and now it's becoming a really good business, to be honest. But I do, depending on what the budget is, about 3 to 10%. If it's a super low budget, I'll do 10%. Because time is money. There's a lot of time and effort, and meetings, and sometimes I travel a lot. Sometimes I'll have investors say, "Look, I'll give you an hour in Miami tomorrow." I'm like, okay, I got to book a freaking last minute flight. I got to book a hotel. I sometimes got to pay for the dinner, but it's worth it, because I'm learning along the way. When when a billionaire says run, you go. Yeah. So that's what it is. It's about 3 to 10%.
That's terrific. So we'll agree to 5, and we'll move on from there.
Exactly. But with you guys, it's going to be 15.
Oh, wow.
It just depends.
How about
be
3
15.
in a title?
There you go.
I think
There you go.
5 in a title, that could work. But okay, cool. So then we're officially bringing you into the fold, and
You're a film hustler.
There's no pressure, but let's now you know what we're doing. You can talk to people about it. If they're interested, they can come on the show. We can talk to them about investment. We could do it the way you normally do it, which is it's your relationship, and we bring them in and talk to them through your filter, and that could be very cool. So, and if you meet someone that wants to do a full feature, then we'll go full feature. If we don't, we'll go short. But our plan is to come up with ideas. And by the way, if you're listening, you could send us an idea through IG. Or tell us you have one. If you think you have something super special, we're willing to take a look at it.
You know what? Do a one-liner. Or not a one-liner. I'm sorry. Do
Paragraph.
like an elevator pitch, a paragraph, because that's what we all have to do. Like we're putting together. I have 3 pitches.
Yeah.
I've been working on notes in my phone. Not a piece of paper and a pen, Robert. Not a typewriter. Notes in my phone. And so come up with them. All mine are like a paragraph.
Yeah. So in about a week, or maybe not this coming show, but the show after, I think we're going to pitch some ideas. If you've sent one in and we like it, we may mention it on the show and talk about it, or even call you. But let's go from there, Gavin. If you have any ideas or know people or whatever,
I definitely will.
Let's get it going.
So I love seeing the flower bloom.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those guys. Well, that's my connect.
Yeah.
You go through me. Yeah. That's the worst. By the way, that's the worst
terrific.
turn off with an investor. Just to let you know,
Yeah.
if anyone wants to do what I do, never try to hold an investor like you own them, because that's the number one. They hate that. Yeah. It's the number one turn off.
No
If
one
you
owns
guys
them.
become friends, you get married, you stop, which has happened. You stop talking to me. I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like, you guys go and live a great life. I'm glad that something good came out of it.
Yeah. That's a good attitude to have.
You have
Because
to, and it really works.
People get very possessive. That's my
Possessive is
friend.
the right word, yes.
And it's stupid because
Well,
it's
we
a
don't.
business.
You can't own anybody.
No,
Like,
you
it
can't.
doesn't work that way. And if they think that you're that kind of guy, it never works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've had people come to me years later, saying, "Man, I'm glad you introduced me to that person. Man, we're still great friends." And
Cool, and you're happy about it.
I'm happy about it. We all still hang out. It doesn't matter. If you guys. Come on. It's their money. They worked very hard for it. I know a friend of mine that moved to New York City with, I think, $70 in his pocket and sold his company for $1 billion.
Damn.
And just because he's my guy, it's not my money.
Yeah.
I didn't go sit in the office for 30 years.
Yeah, $billions a lot of money. But no, look,
yeah.
you've been very successful at it. You're one of the few people I know that actually delivers what they say they'll deliver. So congratulations. Yeah, congratulations on all that.
Hey, congratulations.
And we'll continue to talk to you further on other shows. We'll see what happens. We'll see how this works out. Say your IG again, just so people know.
At Gavin Navarro.
There you go. Check him out. It's fascinating to see what these guys do. They're very good at it, and now you know that you don't have to know all the investors. Like, they don't have to be in your Rolodex. Your brother, your tia doesn't need to know them. You can go to a guy like Gavin, and if he likes what you're selling, then he'll bring investors to you, and that's how that goes. So, all right, well, we'll see you guys next time on Film Hustlers, and yeah, this was a good one, guys.
Yes.
Good job, La Vida.
I almost forgot the name. Is that okay?
Yeah, it was great.